Hey everyone, Jackie here with Enjoying Life's Journey. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another monthly budget report card. We're already in February. Crazy, huh? So February 2nd, so we're going to go over, if you're familiar, kind of like the way we do this, we go over the previous month, give ourselves a grade, and then we take a look at the current month and see what the plan is. And then sometimes each week I might have a specific topic that I'm talking about, dealing with our finances, what's going on with us. So today I kind of wanted to touch on the giving area of our budget, or if you've been watching, you may have noticed that we haven't really seen a giving, or haven't really talked about the giving area. So I wanted to address that. We did have a viewer ask a great question if I did any charitable donations or anything like that. So I wanted to address that. I did answer her question in the comments of the previous video, or whichever video she asked it on, but I did want to also address it in here and kind of give you guys an idea of what we're doing, because we are kind of a low income and we're tight on money right now. So I wanted to just share with you what we're doing to give and maybe give you guys some ideas as well. So let's just kind of jump in. So I'll go over that more as we get to it on the budget. And yeah, so let's just jump into January. All right, so again, I'm hiding right here. Usually I have listed out every single paycheck for the month. So those are hidden for now. You don't need to see what I paid in each paycheck for the purpose of the review. We're just going to see what I budgeted and what we actually spent. And again, I like to color code it. And this is just pretty much for you guys so you can see it at a glance. If it's green, it was better than budget. Red was worse than budget. And blue was pretty much right on budget. So our first category is our income category. So for January, my husband gets paid every other Friday. So he did actually get 3 paychecks in January. I get paid every Friday, and so I had 5 paychecks. I had some short paychecks because I had some weeks that were short hours. So we'll address that in a second. Okay. So for my husband, we originally budgeted that he would get $2,204.51, and he actually ended up getting $2,344.82. So he did better than we had budgeted, which is good. I think he had he got paid for Martin Luther King Day, I believe, is what that was. And then so for me, like I mentioned, I had some weeks that I was short hours. For the holiday, we had New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off. And because I am only, even though I work, so if you're new, Ricky works for Goodwill and I work for a temp agency, but I work at the Amazon distribution center. So I work at Amazon. And because I'm a temp, I don't get paid the holidays. I get the day off, but I don't get paid for that. So I did have some missed days there. And then I actually me and the girls came down with a stomach bug, so I missed 3 days another week. So I originally budgeted that I was going to get about $880, and I only got $774, so almost $100 less. So in a way, my husband's extra money kind of made up for my lack of money, so we still ended up being okay. Extra, we didn't have anything extra. Again, this is if we sell anything. You'll see in February we have taxes coming. Refund, rollover, so that's any change that was left over in the bank account, or if I had to budget for a specific bill, we didn't have a paycheck to cover for it, and you'll see that at the bottom of the screen here as well. So 71 cents, so that was right on because that's what was in the bank account. So overall, I went ahead and kind of did a lighter green here. Overall, we did have a little bit more than we originally budgeted for our income, so that was pretty good. So again, you guys were kind of low income here. Only about $3,000, and that's with the extra paycheck. So you'll see as we get going through the year, you'll start seeing things readjust. Okay, so now down to our regular expenses, and so obviously they're going to explain themselves so you guys can pretty much figure out what your regular expenses are. Again, most of these are fixed expenses. Our rent is the same, car insurance is the same, Netflix is the same. A lot of those are fixed. A few of them are not fixed, so you'll kind of see that as well. So rent, $892.50. We were right on. So I'm just going to kind of go through these because most of them we did pretty good. Most of these were right on. And again, most of these are fixed. Car insurance, $119.35, right on. Trash, I had talked about the trash bill in the previous video. We had got double billed somehow, so actually when our bill comes in like April or something, we won't be paying that. We already have that amount on the account. It's kind of weird, but anyways, it's on the last video. So $17.73, that's just what it was, right on. Netflix, $8.69, right on. So the trash comes out every 3 months usually, in case I didn't say that. Electric, now this is not a fixed bill. This is changing every month, so it's kind of hard to budget. Usually by the time you guys see when I do the video, though, I've already got the bill in the mail, so it's usually right on. So $112.79, so right on budget. Internet is pretty much fixed, $41.71, right on. Water is not fixed, but we tend to use about the same, $98.83, right on. Adobe Cloud, if you're not familiar with what that is, I talked about that in my previous video, so it's $10.62, right on. Our cell phones, again, this is through Cricket. We have the very basic plan. We do not have smartphones. I have a regular phone, and we just have unlimited talk and text. My husband has the same phone as I do, and it's $50 total. That's for 2 phones. So that's another way you guys can save money. We still have ability to save some money here. If I wanted to, I could cancel internet, I could cancel Netflix, I could cancel Adobe Cloud. These are kind of luxury items that we have canceled in the past, but now we're enjoying them, so I'm not going to worry about that. But that's just, you guys are still always ways to save some money. So $50 for cell phones, right on. Motorcycle insurance, $23.78, right on. And again, we are going to be selling our motorcycle, so this expense will be going away. Groceries, again, if you're familiar with us, we did have food stamps. We were getting $122 a month for food stamps. The way I do our food budget is, because we're on such a tight budget right now, this will change as we go on. Basically just been doing $8 a day. So however many days are in the month is how much I budget. So for January, there's 31 days, so it would have been $248 minus our food stamps of $122, and that's how we originally came up with the $126. However, we did go over. We ended up spending $157.08, and that's fine. We splurged a little bit. And again, this number will eventually be going up anyways, because we're just barely making it by with groceries right now, because we're just trying to get out of debt. We're trying to get this stuff taken care of. Also, I mentioned in February, and you'll see that when we get to February, that our food stamps, because I'm working at Amazon now, has dropped down to $26. So we will basically paying for all of our food. I had mentioned before that we had WIC, which is the mother and infant program, where you get like eggs and bread and milk. We have not had WIC in the last 3 months, I believe. Usually they issue 3 months worth of checks, and the only facility that we have close to us that's open, we always do our running around when it comes to doctor's appointments and things like that on Mondays. And the one in Maricopa is not open on Monday, so we'd have to go to Tempe, and we just have not made it out there. So we've just been making do without, and so that's okay, because like I mentioned last month, we're trying to wean ourselves off of any type of assistance anyways, because once we hit the road full-time RVing, we're not really going to have that ability anyways. So kind of a spiel on the grocery thing, but anyways, I'll probably talk about it again. Gas, we budgeted $240. We actually still have $29.80 left, and I'm not rolling that over. Usually we roll it over into savings. I'm not rolling it over to savings yet, because we don't get paid. I won't get paid till Friday. So just in case we still need the gas money there. So that's kind of what that number is here. Diapers, 35 right on. That's 2 boxes of diapers that we buy, and then a pack of the 3-pack of wipes is what, in case, and we get that from Walmart. In case you guys are wondering how we keep our diaper budget pretty small. Dog food, we budgeted 20. We still have $22. We didn't have to buy dog food yet. We still have some, so we still have that. We won't roll that over into savings. Instead, we'll just roll it to February and probably buy the dog food in February. Personal care, originally budgeted $9.26, and that's just because I had already purchased something at that amount. Ended up spending $19.33. Again, the girls and I came down with a stomach bug, so I ended up buying like Dramamine and just stuff to kind of settle our stomach. Well, my stomach. The girls can't take any of that stuff. And I'm going to talk more about personal care, how we save money on personal care, and what we categorize as personal care with February. Household, $5, $5. So again, I think I mentioned last month I had bought like 2 packs of toilet paper, 2 packs of paper towels because they were on sale, and so we still have those. So we're kind of getting ahead on having some of the household items available. Rollover, I originally budgeted $258.04, and that's because, again, I'm not getting paid till Friday, and I had to be able to cover our car insurance, our Netflix, and our electric bill. And so that's what I had based it off. I had estimated the electric bill was going to be $115, and it actually was over. So I actually had to roll over $282.24. So again, the ones in red are the ones that we went over budget. Otherwise, everything else was right on budgets, or even still have some left. So technically, gas and dog food could be green because we actually have some cash left. With those, again, anything with the asterisk mean they are part of our cash envelope system. If you're not familiar with what that is, I'll actually probably be doing a video on that, because originally when I did the zero-based balance budget and I showed you Dave Ramsey's actual budget form that you can print off of his website, I mentioned that I did not use the cash envelope system, but now I am using it, so I'll go over our thing later. Okay, so now down to debt. So if you watched our previous month, you notice Elsa and Arcadia are no longer listed under debt because we paid them back. And you might be wondering, why did I owe my children money? And that was basically, I explained this in previous videos as well. We had moved, we were living with my dad, and so when we moved, we had to take out our emergency savings and take out the girls' savings and all this stuff just to move. And basically that's why we restarted all of our baby steps in October. So we were able to pay them back. This month I'm very excited. We paid off our Open Sky credit card, and we paid off our Best Buy credit card. So originally we estimated the balance for Open Sky was $92.25, and actually was only $91.27. I just said it was right on, pretty much just $1 off. Best Buy, I estimated that we were going to owe about $282.57. Our payoff was $286.92, so a little over, but again, I kept it blue because it was basically, if it's like within a $5 range, I'm just going to keep it around the same. Then we paid just the minimum on the rest. My dad, we don't have set up a minimum payment with him. We just owe him $1,000. So student loan, my minimum's $53. This is medical times 2, so we paid $50 towards each medical bill, and then our motorcycle loan of $204. That was our debt, so we were able to pay off 2 more debts. So we're working the debt snowball. That's what we're doing. So basically, your debt snowball, what you're doing is you're taking, whatever those minimum payments were from your other bills, and you pay those off, then you start applying those to the next bill, and any extra money that you could possibly put towards it, you start putting towards it. So we restarted in October. So since October, we've been able to save our $1,000 and pay off 4 debts. Okay, but that brings me down to our emergency savings. See our balance here? $879. So we ended up spending some of that money. Originally also we wanted to budget another 108 towards that. We were only able to do 20. And again, we ended up doing, we did throw a New Year's Eve party that we originally weren't planning on doing, but you know, we hadn't had anyone even over to our house since we moved in June. And so we invited some friends over, and I got a bunch of Subway sandwiches, like the platter and pizza, and we had gotten firewood and all this stuff. Two of my girlfriends that came did chip in some cash, so that definitely helped. But we did spend, like I said, we ended up spending some money from our savings for that. And then we did take a trip to Quartzsite for the RV show, and we attempted to do a overnight tent camping. So I do have some video from that, which I'll probably be sharing it sometime this month. I can't guarantee which day, but we'll be sharing that. And so we did kind of splurge on that. We had gas, ended up buying some things at the RV show and things like that. So our $1,000 is kind of down to $879 right now. So we got to get that back to 1,000. But again, we have this extra almost $30 right here. So if we don't end up spending that before the 5th, that will go back into savings. And also you'll see in February we have our tax refund coming. So we will be just fine. So you'll see that. But anyway, so that's technically you should have $1,000 in there before you start your debt snowball. So we had 1,000 and we did the debt snowball and spent a little bit, but right, it's okay. That's okay. All right, now we move into our sinking funds. So these are kind of like separate little savings accounts, if you will. Sometimes though, as of right now, we're kind of spending them as the money goes in there. So what we had budgeted for car, bike maintenance. So the car needed an oil change. We ended up getting a hole in the tire that needed to be repaired. The oil change, we had a coupon. We only ended up spending, it was under $20. And to fix the tire was free because we took it back to where we purchased the tire at. So technically we shouldn't have spent $50, but I think we ended up just reapplying that towards gas or something. So I don't know. But either way, that $50 is gone. Otherwise, if we had some left, it would have a balance here. We spent $24 towards Burning Man. We originally budgeted $0, so that's red because we went over budget. Homeschool and office, I originally budgeted $76.81, and we ended up spending $104.07, so a little over there. All right, and let's go down to fun. We actually did really good on. Usually with fun, we've consistently been spending like over $100. So in a sense, we still spent that because we took money from our savings account. But if you don't count what we took out of the savings account, as far as what came out of these paychecks, we budgeted $50, we spent $52.49. So that was pretty much on target. We did, I mentioned last month that we had a Chili's gift card and we had a AMC gift card. We did use the Chili's gift card. We just got the to go, the food to go. And so we still have the movie one. So if I were to be realistic, I would say our fun money, we actually spent over 100 and something because we used some of our savings. But for the purpose of what came out of these paychecks, we were on budget, if that makes any sense. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments saying, I don't know where your logic is there. There probably isn't any logic there. I'd say that we did, all in all, we did pretty good. And we paid off 2 debts, which is good. So let's say Ricky and I did not talk about what grade to give ourselves. Usually we talk about the grade ahead of time, but we did not. So I'm just going to swing this one on my own, and I'm going to give us a B+. I think we did pretty good other than, splurging on the emergency savings. But like my husband said, like Ricky said, he's like, when we did the New Year's thing, he's like, we deserve it. We've been paying off debt, and we hadn't had anybody over since we moved in. So that we were okay with that. So we'll say a B+ for January. And so let's move on to February. Like I said, we have a lot going on in February. because it's tax time. So we already filed our taxes. Ricky got his W-2, and then I got my W-2 a couple days later. So we were able to file it right away. They said that we should be getting it. We filed it around the 20-something of January. They said we should have it by the 10th of February. If you've watched our previous videos, then you know that when we do this, I'm just going to go through, and if it's the same as last month, I'm just going to say the same. As far as budget, if it's different, I will announce what the difference is. Again, I put at the top here what day we get paid, and that way I'm able to not only budget for the month, I'm able to budget each individual week. So for Ricky's income, back down to only 2 paychecks for the month, so we're estimating $1,436, so we'll see what that is. For me, I am estimating that I should get my full 20 hours each week, so we're estimating $856, so we'll see how that turns out. Now, extra, this is our tax refund. We, with state and federal combined, we should be getting $8,480, and then we have our rollover. Again, that was the $282.24. Okay, so we'll just go down regular expenses. So rent is the same, car insurance the same, trash, we're not paying anything for trash. We should be good for the next couple months. Netflix the same. Electricity has gone up, so it's just killing me here. Our lowest bill for electricity was $94, and that was 1 month, and now it's back up. Our highest bill for electricity last year, I think, was June or July, and it was $260. And so I'm not looking forward to that number creeping up, and it is creeping up already. So we're at $154.20. So when I got that in the mail, I was a little disappointed because I originally budgeted $115 because I thought it was going to be close to the previous month, and apparently it's not. So I don't know. Anyways, that's my little rant for that. Internet the same. Water, I didn't get the bill as of yesterday, so I just budgeted $100. We've been staying around $199 anyway, so that should be fine. That one, Adobe the same, cell phones the same. All right, so motorcycle insurance the same. So groceries, this is where we have some things changing up. Like I mentioned, our food stamps is down to went from $126 to $26. And again, I do $8 for each day. So we're looking at $232 for the month, and we get our $26. So we're budgeting $206, if that makes sense, for this month. So we'll see how we end up doing for groceries. And again, this is just, you might be like, oh my God, how are you guys surviving off of $8 a day? We're doing it, but it's not going to be permanent. So keep that in mind, you guys. Dave Ramsey jokes about it all the time. Beans and rice. You're living off of beans and rice just while you're doing this, while you're working the baby steps. So I would love our grocery bill to go up as we get out of debt. And so you'll see that we'll start accommodating but a little bit more. And plus my girls are young. They're not eating like adult-sized meals yet. So that helps. Gas, we're sticking with $2.40. That seems to be right around where we're at. Diapers, $35. Dog food, again, we still have the $22 from the previous month, so we are going to just budget nothing for that. And then our rollover for the following month, we are going to budget $243.04. Again, that is to cover car insurance, Netflix, and electricity. And actually, I will probably need to budget. I'm actually going to probably have to raise this up again. Okay, so debt. This is the exciting part, you guys, because we are getting, like I said, we're getting about $8,400 back for our tax refund. So we are going to pay off all of our debt. All of it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we owe my dad $1,000. And my student loan, as of right now, I owe $1,486.24. This number By the time we get the refund, it will probably go up slightly because of interest, but so far that's what we're budgeting. Medical, we are budgeting $629. That's to pay off the other two bills. Ricky's motorcycle loan, the balance as of today is $3,003.14. And again, that could go up slightly from interest between now and next week. So overall, we're going to be paying $6,118.38 in debt. But then we will be debt free, and that's what it's about, you guys. Getting out of debt. And I have a little rhyme for you, though. We're going to be debt free until we get our RV. But again, we are going to be selling the motorcycles for the down payment on the RV, so we expect to be paying 20% down on the RV, and we're treating the RV as our home, our house on wheels. So to us, that's more of our rent and our mortgage expense moving forward, as opposed to a debt expense, okay? So again, we'll touch on that. So here we are, emergency savings. We are going to add another $1,000 to that, because what you do after you pay off all your debt, you put all your money that you have, extra money now, to finish your emergency savings, which is 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. So we are going to shoot for 6 months because we do plan on traveling full-time next year. So we want to have as much as we can. Let's head into our sinking funds. Now, this is where I was talking about our giving, and this is where things have changed on our budget. So I went ahead and combined on here, I just put car and moto registration. So we have been doing the car registration. We've been purchasing 2 years at a time. So last time I did it, it was about $220. So I'm just budgeting the $220. We plan on having the motorcycles sold before the registration's due. My motorcycle is actually good for another year because I had done 2 years on that. Ricky's would be due in September, but we plan on having the motorcycles sold. We're hoping to have them sold by April. So we shouldn't have to pay that. And so this is being funded, and this is how I always do it. I always pay the registrations with our tax refund. Also, I wanted to mention, because you guys might be wondering, how are we getting so much money back? We do have 2 children, and we are married, and those definitely help you with tax breaks. Also, we are low income, so we qualify for the child tax credit or something, and that's really where we're able to get ahead. And some of you might say, well, that's money that you got because of the kids. Why aren't you putting it all towards the kids? And Dave Ramsey will agree with me on this, that getting out of debt is helping your children because it's getting the family out of debt, and it's freeing up that income, because then we can better serve our children later. In addition, it's teaching them how to handle money properly, right? So it's kind of a spiel. I have a lot of little spiels today, you guys. So car and bike maintenance, we are going to budget $70. Because we are trying to sell the motorcycles, we are going to be doing oil changes on both of the motorcycles, and my motorcycle, we are going to be replacing the battery. So there will be a brand new battery on that. So that $70 might be a little more, but usually if you take your old battery in, you get a good discount on the new battery, and I believe a new battery is $45, so we may only be spending like $20 on the battery, and I think each oil change ends up costing us around $30, so I mean, this might, we might need more for this, but we're going to budget $70 and see how close we are. Burning Man, if you've been watching, we are trying to go to Burning Man this year. We're going to be putting $1,200 from our tax refund towards our Burning Man fund. Now here's my giving that I was talking about. So I had holiday before, and I'm changing it to giving because, so like I mentioned to our other viewer who had asked about my charitable donations, I had mentioned to her that we count any gifts for Christmas or birthdays to family and friends. We count that from our giving fund. Um, because you guys don't shortchange the fact that you're still giving. It's different. As well, we do not belong to a church, so I don't do tithings. We don't take 10% off the top like Dave Ramsey recommends. And again, I want you guys to think outside of the box, especially if you're low income like we are, and get creative with your giving, and don't be so focused on a dollar amount or a percentage, and just do what you can, give what you can, and give in the capacity that you want to give. So for instance, you may not belong to a organized religion or a church either, and so instead of doing, tithings, you might have a special charity that you want to give to. Or for us, I rather donate my or volunteer my time and my energy, because honestly, giving your time is so much more valuable. It's priceless. Your time is priceless. And so for us, we give our time. Arcadia and I participated in it was like filling backpacks with toiletries. So we just happened to have extra toiletries around, so we donated what we already had. We did purchase a nice backpack from Goodwill, a used backpack, and that's all we purchased. But we went to the people that were throwing the fundraiser or the event, and they had made homemade soup, so we helped label all the bowls, we helped pack up all of the backpacks, and so we donated, or I keep saying donate, we volunteered our time, and then all those backpacks were handed out to the homeless. So there's ways to help. You can volunteer at your library to put away books. That's just something you can do. Another thing that we want to start doing once we're out RVing, I've been wanting to do for quite a while, there are a lot of hiking trails, and they need volunteers to help maintain those hiking trails. So it's a way to give back to the community and help nature and things like that. So again, if you have extra time, I would say volunteer your time. If you don't have the extra money, or if you want to feel more involved, volunteer your time. If you don't have the time but you have the money, then give to your church, or give to another type of charity, or something that we've done. Juvenile diabetes walks. You can do breast cancer walks. All kinds of things, you guys. So don't be fixed on this dollar amount, or this, I have to give 10% of my income. Dave Ramsey mentions, as long, if you're giving and you're giving from the heart, he's just trying to help you just get in the mindset of it. It's not like, oh, you have to give exactly this amount. Same thing, with your savings and things like that, your retirement. Those percentages, they're going to vary per person and per family. So just understand that giving can come in so many different forms. So don't, think outside the box. That's my spiel on that. So we are going to be putting $50 towards our giving fund. And then I added on the girls on here, because every time we get our tax refund, we do put money aside for the girls. Arcadia's birthday is in February. She's actually the day after Valentine's Day. And then personal care, we have upped to $50. So this is basically what we've decided to do for Arcadia's birthday. Instead of, usually we throw a birthday party, this year we decided to have a mommy and daughter pamper day. So we're going to have our hair cut and our nails done, and we've invited two of my girlfriends that have daughters that are actually friends with my daughter. So it's cool when your friends' kids are friends with your kids. So it's kind of cool. So we're going to do a mommy-daughter pamper day. So the three of us are taking our three daughters out, and we'll do haircuts and nails. And so that the girls' money and the personal care is kind of mine and Arcadia's money in order to do that. As well, Ricky mentioned, that was going to be kind of like a Valentine's Day treat for me to be able to get my hair done. And so that brings me to the point I mentioned earlier, other ways to save money. So what do we count in personal care? So personal care, getting haircuts, hair dyes, nails if you get your nails done, buying the things around the house that you need, feminine products, razors, shampoo, toothpaste, personal care, right? Hygiene, things like that. So if you noticed before, we'd barely been budgeting anything because pretty much all we were buying for personal care were razors and soap and shampoo and toothpaste. Ricky cuts his own hair. He has clippers. If you saw, I cut my own hair. And actually, I was pretty impressed. I liked it, but I will be investing in some sharper scissors. I've trimmed Arcadia's hair. I've dyed my own hair. So those are ways to kind of do it at a lower cost. But for this month, for February, we are going to treat ourselves to a professional hair and nail day. But that's that little spiel. And then household, again, those are paper towels, cleaning supplies, sponges, weed killer, all that fun stuff. So $10, we're going to go into our sinking fund for that. Homeschool. So again, we are collecting all of our Charlotte Mason method-based homeschool curriculums and resources and all that. We are getting all of those in order for first grade. So Arcadia is kindergarten right now. So all of the stuff that I am getting is stuff that's going to be for first grade and some of it all the way through fourth grade even. So it seems like I'm investing a lot. I've been investing about $75 a month, and that's pretty much, for the next couple months, and then we'll be good with her homeschool stuff for the next couple of years. So we're excited for that. And last but not least, our fun category. We are going to keep it at $50. We still have our $25 movie pass to AMC, so we will be using that as our Valentine's date. We're going to get a babysitter and do that. And then we did want to treat ourselves to probably a crab leg dinner. So that's pretty much all we'll be spending our money on in February. So again, you guys, the idea is you are estimating all of the bills for the month and you're putting it in, you're giving every single dollar a name or a spot, and then you come down and you should have $0. And that's just because you've told it where to go. So February is going to be an awesome month. Again, Valentine's Day, Arcadia's birthday, so we have budgeted for those expenses. We're paying off the rest of our debt, so we will be completely debt-free until we get the RV. And then we are adding another $1,000 to our emergency savings, and we are going to be able to put money for our car registration and for Burning Man into our sinking fund. So February, if we stay on budget, is going to probably be an A+ month. I'm thinking we're going to do awesome for February. So stay tuned for next month, and we'll see how we did for February. We should be doing our debt-free scream. We'll probably end up doing a video or something and sending it over to Dave Ramsey, and we'll see. And then we'll March, though, we'll see how tight March is, because March will be back to reality of how much we will actually be making, because we're not going to have any extra money coming in next month, and but we'll be out of debt, so we'll see how that goes. So as always, you guys, thanks for watching, and today's going to be think outside the box when it comes to giving. All right, so I'll see you next time. Bye.